salt air and rusty doors. I mean, soon we'll be cancelling plans in case they call, and then we're all screwed. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife, and today I am taking you through the 6 books that I am hoping will see me through all of autumn in 2025. Every single season, I put together 6 books in a pile that I really want to concentrate on for the upcoming 3 months. They all feel very seasonal if it's got to do with the vibes of the season or the weather that's to be expected outside, or some events that are going to be happening in the upcoming months, and I have really tried to make this one work. Something that I realized in summer that works really well is to fit in 3 books that work for the buzzword readathon that Kayla from Books and Lala does every year. This is giving me a better opportunity to actually fit in all of the books that I want to do for those prompts and to actually tick off those prompts as we go through month by month. So with that in mind, I have gone through again my entire TBR, both physical and digital, and I have put together a couple of books that I think embody the spirit of autumn and will also help me tick off those buzzwordathon prompts. First up is a thriller author that pretty much everybody loves, and that is Frida McFadden. I am going to read The Housemaid in around October or so, and I am genuinely so excited about this one. I know that this is the beginning of a series, so I'm super excited to get this one started, and then I can speed roll my way through the others in the series. This is about a young woman who works in the Winchesters' home, but is kind of self-inserting herself into their lives in more and more terrifying ways. That Nina comes home one day and finds the housemaid dressed in her wedding dress. That there are pictures around the home that are starting to go missing and then come back with strange little additions that are being brought into them. Everyone and their mother who is a thriller fan has read a Frida McFadden book. Everyone and their mother who is a Frida McFadden fan has read The Housemaid. So far from her, I have only read The Boyfriend, and I was spellbound by it. I was also completely blindsided by the end because I never saw the twist coming. So I'm hoping that Frida is going to take my hand and bring me along my merry way as well, and then just completely hoodwink me 50 or so pages from the end. Another famed in their genre author that I really want to discover is Kristen Hanna, and I think The Nightingale is a really good place to start here. This is a historical fiction book set in France during World War II, and it's following 2 sisters, Isabel and Sophia. It is also about to be made into a film starring Dakota and Elle Fanning, and I am hoping to get this book finished before I go and watch the adaptation, and let's just see if this one is going to completely rip my world apart. For some reason, I really enjoy reading books that are set during World War II, so I've got pretty high hopes for this one. Slight disclaimer in that I have tried to begin this book a couple of times already this year, but I never actually had the time that I was able to stick with it. Hopefully, during the autumn is going to be the perfect opportunity. One that it may surprise you to see on this list is Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. Yes, that Chuck Tingle. I have already read Bury Your Gaze from the same author, and I really enjoyed it. As a not card-carrying member of the Horror Girly Club, I was a little bit surprised that I had enjoyed this one because horror is just not a genre that works for me. But the way that horror and social commentary were woven so well together just made me want to pick up Camp Damascus. This is a book that I have borrowed from a friend of mine, and she really enjoyed it. So when I saw it on her bookshelf, I knew that this was the perfect opportunity to pick it up. This takes place at a conversion camp, where young teenagers who are questioning their sexuality or who have already come out are sent by their parents to be put, without using a better phrase, back on the straight and narrow. I am so intrigued as to how that is going to work. I absolutely abhor the idea of a conversion camp, but I'm intrigued to see how Chuck Tingle is going to make this work. I would also really like to try out Fly With Me by Andy Burke. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of traveling and flying around in September and October, so what better way to mark that than with a book that starts out on an airplane. This is about Olive, an ER nurse who is flying across the country to run in a marathon that she wants to do in honor of her late brother. Olive, however, is terrified of flying, and her stress levels are brought to 1,000 when there is an in-flight medical emergency. Olive saves the day, but she is sadly stranded at the airport. Enter Stella. Stella is the pilot of the plane, and she has seen all of the heroics that Olive has gone through and the efforts that she went through to save the passenger's life. So there's really nothing that she can do apart from drive Olive to the marathon herself. As the two of them get to know each other a little bit better, there is an undeniable spark between the two of them, and I cannot wait to see how this one will develop. I have never really been afraid of flying. I'm actually very comfortable in an airplane, so I am interested to see how this kind of fear of flying is going to be portrayed, and perhaps it's a book that I can start while I'm on one of the flights that I need to take over the next couple of months. No matter where I turn, people are talking about The Wedding People by Alison Espach, and I am nothing if not riddled with FOMO. So I have got to start reading this book. This is about Phoebe, who heads off for a weekend to a hotel where she is planning to take her own life. It's just that the hotel has been completely booked out by Lillian and her to-be husband, because Lillian is celebrating her wedding this weekend, and every single other person at the hotel will be attending the wedding. There is no way on earth that Lillian is allowing something like this to impact the joy and celebrations of her big day. So she takes it upon herself to grab Phoebe by the hand and show her all of the joys of life, get her involved in the wedding festivities, and to basically turn Phoebe's life back around. I am so intrigued by this book, and I know that I've said that about so many others in this video already, but this one is really doing something to me. I have heard so few people who dislike it, to the point that I need to go into it myself and see why that is. Is it really the great book that everybody says that it is? Or am I just on a very specific subset of the internet? Final book on my sides for autumn is Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. This is speaking to me in the same way that The Appeal by Janice Hallett did, because it has a relatively similar concept here. For The Appeal, you were following two law students as they were trying to figure out what had happened in a case that was going through the courts. In Murder in the Family, you are following a detective who has got all of the notes and all of the information, and you have to be alongside them trying to figure out what happened, decoding everything that has happened, gathering information, reviewing it, interviewing sources. I ate that part of The Appeal up whole. If you look back at my reading journal while I was going through that book, you can actively see where I had started to lose my mind and just put in post-it note after post-it note after post-it note of theories and ideas and things that have stuck out to me. And I'm hoping that Murder in the Family is going to bring me that exact same vibe. I've also read a couple of books by Kara Hunter before, and I know that I really enjoy her writing style. I've read a couple of her DC Alex Crowley series, and I really enjoyed them. So hopefully this is going to be that exact same vibe, but just with a little bit more audience participation. Those are the books that hopefully by the end of autumn I will have ticked off my TBR list. Is there anything that you are really looking forward to reading as the months start to get a little bit darker and colder? If you'd love to leave me a comment, if you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me an autumnal themed emoji, whatever it is that comes to your mind when you think of autumn. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.